Salutations, this is Crazed Kitsune, aka Khuma'zi Tayuun, and welcome to Machinist for Dummies, level 70. I've been very much looking forward to making this video, because I love Machinist. I have loved them since Heaven's Ward, and I love them even more now. In this video, I'm going to be covering the new skills available to Machinist at level 70 that they didn't have when they were level 60, and how these affect your overall play. Without further ado, let's get into the meat of things. We'll start on the traits, because we get a new trait at level 64, Shot Mastery, which causes your split shot, slug shot, and clean shot to become heated versions of themselves when your heat gauge is 50 or higher. Apologies for any clicking in the video, that's me having to mute my mic whenever my throat or nose acts up. Because, huzzah mucus. Anyway, having covered the traits, let's go into the skills. At level 62, you acquire Cooldown. This is a global cooldown weapon skill. It costs 60 TP, and its potency is dependent on how much heat you have. If you have less than 50, it's a potency 150 attack. Not really worth using. But if you have 50 or more heat, it's a potency 230 attack. Now that's what we're talking about. Additionally, it of course is enhanced by having ammo, but more importantly, if you use cooldown, it will reduce your heat gauge by 25. Previously, there was little you could do to prevent your barrel from overheating. It was an inevitability. Now, it only overheats if you want it to overheat or you've screwed up. Because optimal burst will still involve overheating your barrel and unleashing as powerful a wildfire as you can get. But now you can actively control when that happens. As you can see, you don't gain a 64 skill. That's because at level 64, you technically gain 3 of them. You gain access to Heated Split Shot, Slug Shot, and Clean Shot when you have 50 or more heat. They're all still global cooldown weapon skills, and their TP costs are unchanged. They have the same basic, proc effects, the same ammo bonus to them, but their potency goes up by 30 each. So Heated Split Shot is now a potency 190 attack instead of 160, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering all of your primary shots are now 30 potency stronger, such as Heated Slug Shot being potency 230, and Heated Clean Shot being potency 270, you do more damage. They do also increase your heat gauge by 10 instead of 5, so cooldown becomes more essential to avoiding your overheat, since every 3 shots is 30 heat. That adds up pretty quickly. At level 66, you gain the Barrel Stabilizer ability. This 2-minute cooldown is a godsend. It sets your heat gauge to 50. Doesn't matter if you're at 0 or 95, it'll go to 50 when you use this. You can only use it if you're in combat, your barrel isn't overheated, and Gauss Barrel is active. As you can see on my crossbar down there, my barrel stabilizer is currently darkened because I'm not in combat, though I do have my Gauss barrel equipped and it's not overheated. At level 68, you gain Rook/Bishop Overdrive. It will only ever say Rook Overdrive in here, but it becomes Bishop Overdrive if you have a Bishop auto turret out. And what this does, this 2-minute cooldown, it orders your turret to deliver an attack that is 5 times as powerful as its normal attack. But your turret will self-destruct to do this, and you can't place a new one for 30 seconds. This is essentially a brief surge of DPS followed by a DPS down because effectively half of that time you don't have your turret out, your turret is doing no damage compared to the damage it just did, which was the equivalent of the first half of its reset time. You use this to end fights, or when you know that you're going to have a long period of time in a fight where you can't attack anything. Additionally, your turret's damage does not apply to your wildfire, so overdriving your rook to get an extra powerful wildfire isn't a thing. I have actually confirmed this through a series of tests. But let's move on to the level 70 skill acquired through your level 70 quest, along with a weapon, head, chest, gloves, pants, and boots for you to wear that are all item level 290. You saw them there briefly at the start of my video because I'm wearing them right now and haven't glamored them to look like anything else. They're the Gunner set and the Outsider, all antiquated. But anyway, let's talk about this skill, Flamethrower. Sounds fun. It's a 60-second cooldown. Once you activate it, it will last for 10 seconds or until you move or use another skill. And it cancels your auto attack upon executing it. This is a potency 60 damage over time conal flamethrower attack that will gradually increase your heat gauge if you're in combat. You're going to be using this on group fights. It's also a quick way to go from 0 to overheat, I'm fairly certain. We'll be seeing that soon enough, I'm sure. But with all of that covered, that's all of the new skills. I will be demonstrating what the new versions, your heated shots, look like, because why wouldn't I? But first, let's demonstrate an overdrive on the rook. Yeah, that did a pretty decently large chunk of damage to this striking dummy. Okay, now, let's barrel stabilize myself. And let's pop some ammo to make sure I have enough ammo to use all of my skills. Heated split shot. Heated slug shot. And heated clean shot. These are beautiful and flashy, and it looks like you're dancing when you do your full burst. And now, let's see. Next up. Well, this is cooldown when I have 50 or more heat. That did, let's see. Wow, I just crit that for 2871. Let's do that again. 2,000 damage for less than 50 heat. Now I'm going to build up to 50 heat again real quick and use another cooldown because I didn't see the damage it did before. And yeah, 3,300 some damage. So it does markedly more damage when you have enough heat for it. It's going to be a while before I can use Overdrive again. But let's get ourselves back down to 0 heat, because now it's time to demonstrate the Flamethrower. I should check its range, because I want to be sure I have the range correct before I use it. It's an 8 yalm range. Okay. You do not have to be targeting anything to use your Flamethrower. Burn! Burn, burn, burn! Yep, definitely overheats your barrel. You can go from 0 to overheat in one use. And then some. That was beautiful. So beautiful. I love it. But let's overdrive this bishop. Yeah, that did about 3,500 damage to all of the things. So, yeah, your turret's damage does not apply to your wildfire, so don't use overdrive as part of your burst. You're going to lose damage if you do. Instead, you use it for when you're about to enter a long phase transition, or the fight's going to end shortly, so you might as well just do a huge surge of damage right then and there. Barrel Stabilizer you can use right at the start of a fight to get to your heated shots immediately, to prevent your barrel from overheating because you've gone too high on your heat and you don't want to, and you'd rather not use cooldown, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to use cooldown. It's nice and powerful. But those are the new skills. They don't particularly change your rotation other than the fact that every few shots you will use cooldown to avoid overheating. And you should never use cooldown if you have less than 75 heat, because it takes you below 50, which takes away your heated shots. And that's a DPS down. Just like you should never use quick reload below 60 heat, because that will take you below 50 heat and take away your heated shots. Finding the balance to use these skills and manage your heat is tricky, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get used to it, and I still screw up now and then. I'm not perfect, nor am I optimal, because I don't go for overheat burst. But that's just because it doesn't feel right to me. My damage still remains fairly decent and consistent, and that's essentially my goal as Machinist, to not suddenly do a crap load less damage because I'm being stupid. But that's everything covered. I hope this video has been informative and helpful. If it hasn't, well, I guess I've got some more tinkering to do. Until my next video, goodbye!